Chapter 21-1-2, Zang. You are listening at novelfull.audio. You are indeed very powerful, but you want to solve all of us by yourself. It's too arrogant. We recognize your strength, but don't look down on people too much. All the pirates clamored. They are all desperados who lick blood at the edge of their knives. How have they ever been afraid of anyone? Is it? Seeing this, Moonlight sneered and was about to make a move. You are all here. However, at this moment, a ghost-like voice sounded silently, and Clobodal appeared. To be precise, it should be Captain Crow. It's the captain. Captain, you are here. Great, the captain is here. Seeing Captain Crow, all the pirates became excited and cheered. No, time has passed. However, Zang's heart sank. Looking at the time that had already passed, it must be that Captain Crow couldn't wait any longer and came here by himself. This means that Crow is already angry. Here it is, you villain. Seeing Crow appearing, Usopp shouted angrily, but his body was trembling, obviously afraid. As the captain of the ship, the most powerful man on board, how could he not be afraid? Especially after learning of Crow's conspiracy, his heart trembled even more. Such a man endured humiliation, planned for 5 years, and lurked by Kuya's side for another 3 years. How terrifying is this kind of role? Sure enough, it's him. We don't need any evidence now. What he said just now has already exposed his identity. Nami's mind became serious, and there was no longer any doubt, but at the same time, her heart tightened. The Cat brothers are already so powerful, one can imagine how powerful the captain must be. Zango, what are you doing? However, Crow ignored them at all. To him, they were all insignificant. He looked at Zango with a deep smile on his face. Seeing this smile, Zangao was stunned, knowing that if they didn't take action, they would be completely finished. Brother Catman, look here, everyone, look here too. You'll all go berserk when I say 1, 2, Zango. Zangao said to all the pirates. The silver ring in his hand shook. Hypnotism, rampage. Zangao shouted, immediately looking at everyone in Inhuan. Their gazes became hollow at first, and then there was a trace of bloodthirsty light. Everyone became ferocious, picked up a big knife, and rushed towards the Moonlight fiercely. Meow. The ones who changed the most were the Cat brothers. Their bodies suddenly doubled in size, but their movements and speeds became more flexible. They rushed towards the Moonlight. No, these people have become more fierce. This is going to be bad. Is it hypnotism again? This hypnotist. Seeing this change, Usopp and Nami couldn't help screaming. Yes, my hypnotism can not only make people fall into a deep sleep, but also make people forget the pain and fear of the body. Like a beast that is unconscious and not afraid of pain, its fighting power will increase tenfold. It's over for you, go die. Zangao sneered. Humph. Hearing this, Yueguang sneered and was about to draw his sword. Rubber, machine gun. However, at this moment, an excited voice suddenly sounded. I saw Luffy jumping out of the jungle suddenly, looking at all the people rushing over. He roared loudly. I saw arms flying, and countless arms rushed out, attacking everyone. But it was Luffy, who arrived in time. Bang 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 bang. Hearing the sound of continuous explosions, Luffy is as powerful as a bamboo, and he is so powerful. Whether it is the Cat brothers or ordinary pirates, they are all blown away. Wherever it goes, no one can stop it. Luffy, you are finally here. Where did you die? Sure enough, I knew you wouldn't die so easily. Seeing Luffy, Usopp and Nami said happily. Usopp breathed a sigh of relief, while Nami shouted angrily. Damn it, isn't this kid dead? Zangao was shocked when he saw Luffy appearing in the sky. Even Crow's eyes sparkled. Because they saw it with their own eyes, Luffy was hypnotized, fell off the cliff, and fell headlong into the ground. Normal people would have died long ago. Boom. At this time, Luffy had finished fighting, and everyone, including the Catman brothers, fell to the ground and was directly beaten by Luffy. Then Luffy looked at Zangao and said angrily. It's you, you used something strange to make me fall asleep. I'm going to blow you away. Rubber, pistol. After finishing speaking, he stretched out his arms suddenly, and punched Zang. The arm is stretched. Monster. He is not a normal person. All the pirates who were blown away got up immediately, because they were in a hypnotic state, so they didn't feel pain, and were about to continue to attack. When they suddenly saw this scene, they couldn't help but wake up in shock, their eyes widened, and they said in shock. It's a devil fruit ability user. In this way, it makes sense. You can't die if you fall from such a high place. Seeing this scene, Zang understood that there have always been legends of demons on the sea, but this is just like dragons. Everyone has heard of various legends about dragons, but no one has ever seen a real dragon. When I saw it with my own eyes one day, I couldn't help being shocked. Zang in front of him is exactly this feeling. But he calmed down quickly. After all, he was experienced. After avoiding Luffy's rubber pistol, the silver ring in his hand shook. Look at me. Hypnotism, forcibly hypnotized. 1, 2, praise, Zang shouted. When the last word was finished, Luffy closed his eyes and fell asleep again. It's just that this time before falling asleep, he didn't forget to shout to the Moonlight. Damn, is this trick again? Moonlight, please. Before he finished speaking, he fell asleep directly. Luffy. Luffy. Close your eyes. Usopp and Nami couldn't help shouting. But it's too late. Are you asleep? Cut. Seeing this, Zang heaved a sigh of relief, then sneered. Hey, the same trick, will you hit it a second time? Seeing this scene, Moonlight couldn't help being speechless. He thought that when Luffy came out and could sweep the scene, he just saved some things, but now it seems that he was completely overthinking. In the end, I really ruined the original work myself. Your companions who can fight have all fallen, and now you are left alone. What are you going to do? After dealing with Luffy, Zang looked at Moonlight. If you're not a devil fruit user, then it's much easier to deal with. I'll hypnotize you again and rush over together. He's hard to beat with 2 fists. Although this will affect you, it's nothing compared to Captain Crow's anger right now. Zang pondered, the silver ring in his hand shook again, and shouted at everyone. Everyone, look here. Immediately, everyone's eyes were attracted again. 1, 2, praise, Zang said. When the last word was uttered, everyone's eyes turned blood red, 10 times more powerful than before. He rushed towards the Moonlight fiercely. Chapter 22. But that's it. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Moonlight, be careful. Not good. Seeing this, Nami and Usopp shouted quickly, first Sauron, then Luffy. The enemy's strength is beyond imagination. Even a devil fruit-capable user like Luffy has been planted. Will Moonlight be the opponent? Boy, you are very good at fighting, but will you alone be the opponent of all of us? Especially they have been hypnotized by me, and their combat effectiveness has increased tenfold. Zang sneered. Moonlight is indeed powerful, but no matter how powerful he is only one person. I'll give you another 10 seconds. Crow started counting down the seconds directly. He was already very impatient. If you don't want to make the captain angry, get rid of him quickly. Hearing this voice, Zang's heart tightened, and he hurriedly shouted around, and the bodies of the hypnotized people trembled, as if these words touched their hypnotized souls. One by one became more violent. Kill, hurry up and complete the captain's mission. Otherwise, the captain will be unhappy. You must not make the captain unhappy, or you will die. Yes, we must complete the captain's mission. We only have 10 minutes. Everyone is in a hurry. Moonlight. Run away. Nami and Usopp shouted hastily. Don't worry, they are nothing to me. On the contrary, it's you. It's better to stay away, otherwise it will be bad if it affects you. Moonlight smiled and walked towards everyone indifferently. Go away. Affected us? Nami and Usopp are puzzled. He actually rushed over alone. Zang snorted coldly. Moonlight is really looking down on people. Maid, I am also a member of the Crow Pirates. when did I get underestimated like this? Court death. Die. All the pirates instantly became extremely angry. They are also strong men who lick blood at the edge of their knives and kill people. Moonlight is really underestimating people. Did you underestimate it? That's what you think. Moonlight smiled. The Overlord is domineering. The pupils flashed, and suddenly a blue dizziness burst out, centering on himself. Within a radius of meters, everything was affected. Plop, puff, the pirates rushed over one by one, their bodies froze immediately, then fell to the ground, fainted, and foamed at the mouth. In the end, within 100 meters, all the pirates passed out and lost their fighting power. Some are even drenched all over. Even Zang Gao's pupils widened and he knelt down suddenly. Although he was better than the others, it was like having a nightmare. He was sweating profusely and lost his fighting power. 100 meters away, the pirates who were about to rush over seemed to be fixed in place as if they had been immobilized. Zhang Yao is weak, and the hypnotism is undone. What's going on here? What happened? Seriously, they looked shocked, yet no one knows what happened. They stood where they were, not daring to cross a step. What happened? Usopp's face was shocked. Is this made by Moonlight? Nami was also shocked, looking at the Moonlight. Okay. Crow shrank his pupils and adjusted his glasses. Flashing underfoot. Silent killing step. Suddenly, without a sound, he appeared behind the Moonlight, with both hands and sharp claws sticking out. Haha. The Moonlight smiled faintly, and the grass pheasant swung the sword. 3 cuts. Boom. On the sword body, a crescent-like sword energy bloomed. The sword energy erupted, and 3 consecutive slashes burst out in an instant. Crack. Crow's left iron claw was chopped off in an instant. Even half of his body was blown away by the sword energy. Captain Crow. It actually blocked Captain Crow's silent killing move. There is such a thing. Seeing that Crow not only returned without success, but was also seriously injured, all the pirates were shocked. That's Captain Crow, who is known as 100 Tricks. It's amazing. This Moonlight is really amazing. Usopp opened his mouth wide and looked at the Moonlight in shock. It's not just powerful, it's completely crushing. Nami was also shocked. She was well informed, but this was the first time she had seen a strong man like Moonlight. Too weak. With this strength, you are worthy of being the captain. A sword slashed Kaluo, and Moonlight said disdainfully. Haha. However, Crow didn't care, just smiled cruelly. With one hand down, the body swayed as if drunk. Seeing his posture, all the pirates roared in horror, that expression, as if seeing something terrible. No, Captain Crow, don't use the spoon. Ah. That's a spoon, Captain Crow, please, don't use that trick. We listen to you in everything, we do whatever you want us to do, don't use this trick. Ah, Captain Crow. All the pirates showed expressions of horror and despair when the end was coming. Obviously this trick is no trivial matter. What's a spoon? Okay. Seeing this, Usopp and Nami were puzzled. This is Captain Crow's unique skill. It is a secret killing technique centered on the silent killing step. It is performed at such a fast speed that even Captain Crow can't control the speed, so this is an indiscriminate killing technique. Zango explained with a trembling voice. Seeing Captain Crow's posture, he also trembled. What? An indiscriminate killing technique, which means that he doesn't even know who he is killing. Usopp and Nami could not help but shudder. Not bad. Zhang nodded, looking desperate. No one can stop Crow now. Silent killing technique? It's just a trick to destroy the body and move at high speed. Haha. Hearing this, Moonlight smiled disdainfully. Hee, I admit that you are very powerful, but you underestimate Captain Crow too much. This silent killing technique is more terrifying than you imagined. Zhang chuckled, disapproving of Moonlight's confidence. Is it? Moonlight smiled faintly. Shoo. At this moment, Crow's body suddenly disappeared. The silent killing technique has begun. Ah, Captain Crow, don't. I don't want to die, I don't want to die. Stop it, please stop it. Seeing this, all the pirates collapsed, begging again and again. Humph, Moonlight sneered. Grass pheasant sword drawn. Buzz, a crescent-shaped sword chi appeared in a fan shape and slashed out, a sword was thrown across the sky, and the next moment, an explosion resounded suddenly. I saw that crow, who had disappeared, was chopped off in an instant, and his right-hand iron claw also disappeared in an instant. The whole person flew upside down and smashed hard on the rockery behind him. Boom! Blood spurted wildly, he was seriously injured, and he fainted to death. The whole place was silent. Everyone watched this scene, dumbfounded and speechless. Chapter 23 Usopp on board. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Captain Crow defeated. And still in the state of using the spoon. My God, is there such a thing? I'm dreaming. This swordsman is too strong. After a long time, all the pirates came back to their senses, and the shock was unparalleled. Zang couldn't say anything, his whole body trembled, and he passed out. He had endured the domineering arrogance of the Moonlight front, and it was already very good that he didn't faint on the spot. At this moment, he couldn't hold it anymore and passed out. It's so powerful. This swordsman named Moonlight is really powerful. He defeated Crow with just one strike. Usopp trembled, looking at the Moonlight, as if seeing some kind of powerful existence. So strong, really strong, this person might be stronger than Eren. Nami's heart trembled violently. This guy is indeed a man that I can't even compare to. But I will definitely beat him. Sauron stood there with his sword, stood up with support, looked at the Moonlight. His face was full of fighting spirit. Then he patted Luffy. Hey, Captain, everything is over, it's time to wake up. Okay. Luffy was dazed for a while, woke up from his lethargy, then glanced around, and finally landed on Moonlight. Moonlight, do you have any meat? I'm hungry. Moonlight. Zoro. Usopp. Everyone was speechless. The first thing you did when you woke up was that I was hungry and asked if there was any meat? Are you not worried that we will be killed? Nami ran away and punched Luffy on the head. What are you doing? What are you worried about? With Moonlight here, with Moonlight's strength, it's trivial to solve them. Luffy rubbed the bag on his head, dissatisfied. Okay, thank you all this time, let me treat you to dinner, Luffy, enough meat. Usopp said quickly, and at the same time he breathed a sigh of relief. It is a good thing that the enemy in front of us has been resolved. Everyone, are you here? At this moment, a beautiful shadow ran over, panting. It was Kuya. She looked at the crowd and was about to speak when she suddenly saw the scene before her and couldn't help being stunned. Captain Usopp, it's too bad, the butler, Clabattle, is actually a vicious pirate captain. He wants to kill everyone in the village, and Miss Kaya. Captain Usopp. This. At the same time, Carrot Head, Onion Head, and Green Pepper Head also ran over, panting, and said to Usopp. However, when the three of them saw the swaying, non-fighting pirates at the bottom of the hillside, as well as the knocked-down Crow, Zang, and the Cat brothers, they couldn't help being stunned. You are late, they have already been dealt with by my Captain Usopp, his companions. Seeing this, Usopp laughed out loud, and was about to brag, but as soon as the words came out, he saw Nami Zoro's indifferent expression, and immediately changed his words. Wow, Captain Usopp, you are amazing. As expected of our Captain Usopp. Master Captain. However, the three believed it. Looking at Usopp, they were moved to tears. Usopp, thank you, everyone, thank you. But Kaya seemed to understand something, smiled at Usopp, and then thanked Luffy and the others. She already knew all the truth. What, are there really pirates? That Usopp who loves to lie actually beat off the pirates for us and protected us? It can't be fake. At the same time, the villagers in the village were also stunned, and they also received the news. After all, the entire Crow pirate group is mighty, with hundreds of people, so powerful, it is impossible not to attract attention, especially when the butler who lived in the villa on the top of the mountain said it himself. Everyone believed it. Damn it, I didn't expect it to be true, that kid didn't deceive us this time. It's amazing, he actually protected us, it seems that he is not useless. I never thought that one day I would be protected by him. But I'm really grateful to him. All the villagers laughed, full of flavors. And at this time, Usopp took Luffy and everyone back to the village after being treated by Kaya. As soon as he arrived in the village, the villagers cheered. Usopp, thank you for saving everyone. Although I was a little sorry for you before, but thank you this time. Well done, boy, I like you. Seeing this, Usopp trembled and burst into tears. It was precisely to protect these people that he dared to stand up strong. TCH, it's obviously us who did it, and he's the one who made all the heroes. Nami was dissatisfied. It doesn't matter, we are pirates, not heroes. Luffy shook his head, looked at Usopp with a bright smile, and said with a smile. Hey. Sauron smiled grimly. Moonlight shrugged. You guys, yes, we are pirates. Hearing this, Nami was stunned, then looked at Uegwon and the others, and smiled brightly. Eat meat, I want to eat meat. Done. Hey, Moonlight, don't compete with me for curry. After a while, facing the warm hospitality of the villagers, Luffy and others cheered. Luffy goes looking for meat, Zoro drinks, Nami and Moonlight grab curry rice. It's fun, people carnival. The next day, after Luffy and the others had dinner, they bid farewell to everyone and continued on to the next section of the voyage. Because of Kuluo's incident, no one wanted to send a boat to Kia anymore. However, when they came to the shore, they found a huge sailboat parked on the shore, and Kuya and others were waiting by the side. Seeing Luffy and the others, he couldn't help laughing. Usopp told me about your affairs, and I would like to thank you this time. I can't repay you. I will give you this golden melee as a gift. I hope everyone will not dislike it. Kaya thanked. Ahaha, there is a boat, it's so big, it's great. Luffy immediately became excited, jumped on the boat, and touched east and west. Zoro didn't speak, but his eyes expressed gratitude. Thank you. Nami and Moonlight expressed their gratitude. Kuya responded politely, don't care. At this moment, a huge ball suddenly rolled down the hillside. The ball split open, and clothes, pants and other daily necessities were scattered all over the floor. Usopp got up from inside and looked at everyone in embarrassment. It's too heavy, my feet slipped, ha. But I, Usopp, have decided that from now on, I will set sail and be a great sea warrior. Usopp, hearing this, Kia couldn't help showing a trace of yearning on her face. What she yearns for most is the sea, but her body is weak. Wow, that's cool, then be my partner. Chapter 24 The Straw Hat Pirates Formation. You are listening at novelfull.audio. At this moment, Luffy directly invited Usopp aboard. You want to invite me on board? Usopp opened his mouth wide and looked at Luffy with an incredulous expression on his face. He has seen the strength of Luffy and his party with his own eyes, especially the scene where the Moonlight slashed Klo with a sword, which has been deeply rooted in his heart. How powerful is such a pirate group, to invite someone like him to board the ship? You're very interesting. I just need someone like you on my boat. Luffy smiled with sincerity on his face. But, don't they have any opinions? Usopp quickly looked at Zoro, Nami, and Moonlight. Hey, Luffy, although you said you are the captain, you should ask us anyway. Nami couldn't help but say. That's right, we're not air. Zoro groaned. I do not mind. Moonlight shrugged, not caring. Hey, would you like to join my pirate team? However, Luffy didn't hear it at all, and shouted at Usopp loudly. This guy. Nami sighed. If it weren't for the fact that you are the captain, I would have hacked you to death. Sauron said fiercely. Moonlight has nothing to say. Facing Luffy's sincere invitation, Usopp was excited, with tears in his eyes, nodded heavily, then jumped up with big strides, and hugged with Luffy. Luffy laughed loudly, the two seemed to be a match made in heaven, together they became a living treasure. Haha, seeing this, Kuya smiled sweetly. Ah, Nami laughed too. Cut, Sauron curled his lips, although he didn't say anything, but a smile could still be seen on the corner of his mouth. With Usopp around, this ship shouldn't be too lonely. Moonlight smiled secretly. He, Nami, and Zoro have always done their own things without interfering with each other. When the boat was small, they couldn't feel it, but now that the boat is bigger, it will be very quiet. Usopp is like a bond, connecting them. Kia, I'm going to sea, I want to be a great sea warrior. Afterwards, Usopp said goodbye to Kaya. Well, you certainly will. Kaya nodded solemnly, convinced of Usopp's words. Wow. As the boat went further and further away, Usopp couldn't help but burst into tears again. Okay, since you have decided to set sail and go to sea, let's let go of everything until you succeed, Luffy comforted. Thank you, Luffy, you are such a good person. Usopp was moved again, and rolled into a ball hugging Luffy. The two quarreled again, rolling around on the deck, and it was lively. Although it is said that there are more people, it will be more lively, but if it is too lively, it is noisy. Looking at the two of them, Nami's mouth twisted a little angrily. Same feeling. Sauron nodded. Hey, Sauron, come and help me practice. Moonlight came into the clearing and called to Sauron. It is good. Hearing this, Sauron showed excitement on his face, and directly drew his sword and slashed at it. My God, isn't there a normal person on this boat? Looking at Moonlight and Zoro fighting each other, and Usopp and Luffy rolling into a ball, Nami couldn't help but feel a headache. However, for some reason, I suddenly enjoyed this feeling in my heart. After identifying the course, sail forward. The sky on the sea is always unpredictable, just like a child's face. The sky is still clear one moment, and the next moment it becomes a storm. Moonlight, pull down the sail. Zoro, take the helm. Usopp, use your sniper scope to observe the surrounding situation. Luffy, I'll leave the front to you. Seeing this, Nami immediately arranged it in an orderly manner, showing the demeanor of a senior navigator. Although the sea was violently stormy, thunderous and lightning flashed, the undercurrent was surging under the sea, and the vortex was constant, but under the command of Nami, the golden melee sailed smoothly. After a while, the dark clouds dispersed, the sky and the earth became clear again, and the sea calmed down again. Shoo! So dangerous. Luffy sat on the bow with a look of admiration. It seems that you are still useful as a woman. Sauron nodded rarely. On this sea, navigators are the core. Moonlight nodded. Nami was indeed extremely important. This is the sea I have longed for a long time. Usopp came out of the cabin with a satisfied expression on his face, then he looked at Luffy and said. Luffy, since we have established a pirate group and set sail to sea, we must have a banner. Of course there is a banner, but what to use? And I can't draw. Luffy frowned, thinking seriously. I can. Hearing this, Usopp recommended himself. That's great. Luffy's eyes lit up suddenly. Usopp smiled evilly, and suddenly a portrait of a long nose appeared. Usopp was very proud. Look, from now on Captain Usopp is going to set sail. Hey! I'm the captain. Luffy was angry and extremely dissatisfied. Hey, when did we become your subordinates? Usopp. Haha. The three of Sauron looked at Usopp with gloomy faces. After a while of punching and kicking, Usopp calmed down, and finally drew the pirate flag according to Luffy's hat. The Straw Hat Pirates are established. Great, just what I want. Seeing the straw hat on the flag, Luffy was overjoyed. Not bad. Zoro and Nami nodded. Luffy is a group soul, marked by his straw hat, which fits the dream of One Piece. Has the Straw Hat Pirates finally formed? Moonlight murmured, her heart agitated. Boom! At this moment, suddenly, a monstrous wave rose from the sea, accompanied by a 10-meter-sized sea beast, which suddenly appeared. Wow, so big! Luffy reacted immediately, his face full of surprise. What is this? Sauron put his hands on the hilt of his sword. Ah! Sea beast, Usopp screamed, lying on the ground. So big, Nami was stunned. In this East China Sea, it was also the first time for her to see such a huge monster. At this time, the sea beast roared towards the Moonlight. No, Moonlight, be careful, Nami yelled hastily. Okay, seeing this, Sauron let go of his hand on the sword instead. Moonlight, don't kill it, Luffy shouted, looking like a curious baby. Usopp is speechless. Roll, Moonlight stares. Roar, the berserk sea beast suddenly stopped, its eyes the size of a lantern were suddenly full of fear, and beads of sweat the size of a bean oozed from its forehead. With a howl, he turned around and ran away. Usopp, this. Sauron, I'll go, Nami, what's going on, Luffy, don't go. The four reacted differently. Sorry, I missed it, Moonlight shook her head, she didn't expect the domineering power of Overlord Color to be so powerful that the sea beast was scared away. Miscalculation. What a miss, you are too BT, you actually scared the sea beast away. Hearing this, Usopp couldn't help complaining. What kind of magic did you use? It's too amazing. Nami was shocked. Sauron didn't speak, but the fighting spirit in his eyes was getting stronger and stronger. The more Uiguang showed his strength, the more he felt the gap between him and Uiguang, but he must surpass it. Chapter 25 The Raptors. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ding! You drew your sword and gained 100 by 100 experience points. Ding! You used armed color domineering once, and gained 100 by 100 experience points. Ding! Pull out the knife and cut to upgrade to LV3. Ding! The armed domineering color has been promoted to LV3. After the shock just now, Luffy and others all became serious, and they didn't dare to be careless anymore. Usopp is at the helm, Luffy sits on the bow and is responsible for looking around, and Nami observes the clouds in the sky and records the logbook. Sauron was sleeping, Moonlight practiced swords on the watchtower, Grass Pheasant's sword waved again and again, and finally reached LV3. Okay, the sword skill of LV3 is enough to cut through fine steel, and with the blessing of armed color domineering, it can reach the power of LV4. Hearing the sound, Moonlight murmured, Moonlight, basic swordsmanship, the system will give you no rank. 3-stage cut, the system will give you no grade, draw a knife and cut LV3 1/1000000, can be promoted. Raptor severing /LV 11/100000, upgradable and unlockable, knowledge color domineering LV 320000/100000, can be promoted, armed color. Domineering LV 370,000/100000, can be promoted, Overlord color domineering LV 170,000/100000, can be promoted. Overlord color domineering is not easy to cultivate. After all, with them around, it is easy to affect innocent people, so let's practice sword skills. Looking at the progress of the cultivation, in just a few days, it reached LV3. This level is enough to sweep first-class swordsmen. If it is equipped with armed colors, it is enough to fight against Hawkeye a few moves. It can be seen that the system is indeed very good, but that's not enough. Moonlight shook his head, looking at the calm sea, with the Grass Pheasant sword in his hand, and the sword skills came out suddenly. Dragon breaks the sky, Moonlight shouted in his heart, and his body instantly disappeared into the observation deck, appearing on the surface of the sea in the next moment. The human and sword merged into one, as if teleporting, constantly slashing on the sea. Wherever it passes, the waves are rough and violent. The Raptor Dragon Severing Slash is a fast slashing technique that uses the sword energy to wrap the human sword and integrate it into one body. Because the human and the sword are united, the speed is extremely fast, and there will be many phantoms during the movement, especially at sea. It is like a dragon crossing the river. Moreover, the sword energy was violent, cutting the air, bursting out bursts of screams, faintly heard, as if a sound of ah 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 roared on the sea. What is that? Nami was studying the chart when she suddenly heard this voice. She was horrified. Is the tsunami coming? Run away. Usopp widened his eyes, terrified. Wow! That's amazing, Moonlight. But Luffy looked at the moving traces of the moonlight and the sky-shattering roar, and saw that it was Moonlight at a glance, and couldn't help being surprised. It's Moonlight. What kind of sword skill is this? It can actually move on the sea. Sauron woke up suddenly, and immediately stood up. With his eyes, he naturally saw it, and he couldn't help being shocked. What? Is that Moonlight? Hearing Luffy shouting, Nami looked at the sea in disbelief. Really, Moonlight is no longer at the observation deck. Usopp quickly looked at the observation tower, but found that the Moonlight was not there. My God, the Moonlight can run on the sea, it's amazing. Usopp was shocked. Not good. But at this moment, Moonlight suddenly cried out in his heart, because it was the first time to use this sword skill. The speed of the human sword was too fast, and he couldn't adapt to it. His body kept moving on the sea surface, and he couldn't stop. The whole person ran farther and farther, and soon disappeared from everyone's sight. Huh? Where is Moonlight going? Seeing this, Luffy couldn't help but wondered. I don't know, did he find something? Nami guessed. Maybe it's the enemy, let's run away, Usopp said quickly. An enemy? Why do you want to run away? Sauron has a fighting spirit on his face. Okay, catch up. Luffy is full of energy and enthusiasm. Usopp, turn full rudder, catch up. Nami nodded and said. Hey, you guys. Usopp was sweating profusely and wanted to escape, but his body uncontrollably steered as he said and chased after him. Have you come to an unnamed island? At this time, the Moonlight finally stopped from the high-speed movement, but in front of him was a dense and unnamed island. It's so funny, it turned out like this. Moonlight couldn't help but wryly smiled, not going to the island yet, waiting until Luffy and the others, they will definitely catch up. Sure enough, not long after, the shadow of the Golden Mary suddenly appeared on the sea, and Luffy and others chased after him. Moonlight, you are so powerful, what was that move called just now? It's so cool. Seeing the Moonlight, Luffy shouted from afar. This guy. Sauron's pupils shrank. You guys are too exaggerated. Apart from the legendary Murlocs, this is the first time I've seen a human swordsman who can move on the sea. Nami was shocked. Hey, Moonlight, you discovered this island a long time ago, so you led us here. Usopp asked without forgetting his business. I found out a long time ago. Well, yes, I saw it from a distance on the observation deck, so I stopped by to take a look. Hearing this, Moonlight was about to explain. When she heard Usopp's words, she couldn't help being taken aback for a moment, then reacted and said hastily, he can't say that he can't control his strength, it's too shameful. You are really amazing, but then again, I'm hungry. Is there anything to eat on this island? Luffy didn't doubt that he was there, rubbed his belly, and looked towards the island. There should be. After all, it is an island, so there should be a lot of fruits. Usopp said, looking around. This kind of island is so small, it's the first time I've seen it. Nami measured around and said. Let's go, since we're here, let's go to the island and have a look. Sauron nodded, and they didn't doubt what Moonlight said at all. Then Luffy set foot on the island. Seeing this, Moonlight breathed a sigh of relief and followed. The island is indeed very small, just as Nami said. A group of people walked for a while, and basically saw the whole picture of the entire island, then looked for food in the forest. Ah! Stupid and ignorant people, this is the realm of the gods. If you go one step further, you will offend the gods. Stop here. However, not long after the group of people stepped into the forest, suddenly, the surrounding forest shook suddenly, as if a beast was about to appear. It was terrifying. Ah, God, let's go. Usopp panicked. Great, God. Come out and let me see what it looks like. Luffy looked ecstatic, wishing to see what the god looked like immediately. Is there really a god in this world? Nami was also frightened, her face turned blue. Chapter 26 Treasure Island. You are listening at novelfull.audio. What a god, you're just pretending to be a ghost, get out of here quickly, or I'll hack you to death. Moonlight said coldly. Grass Pheasant's sword was drawn out. You ignorant mortals, how dare you? However, the voice still rang out, ethereal and vast, but Moonlight became impatient, and slashed out with a sword, shouting. Get out! Buzz! A crescent-like sword energy burst out through the air, sweeping across one side with incomparable sharpness. Immediately, the forest of 10 square meters in front of him was chopped off by a sword, big trees, weeds, and even the ground flew together, revealing behind the weeds, various beasts such as lions, dogs, deer, and leopards, and among these beasts, an extremely strange person. This person's whole body is wrapped in a treasure chest, extremely ugly, extremely short and fat. At this time, he was looking at the Moonlight with the sword drawn in horror. Seeing this person, Luffy and others were shocked. What kind of rare beast is this? Luffy first stepped forward to look at it, thinking. This should be a box. Usopp frowned. Strange, there is a person growing on the box. Or is this person born from the box? Nami guessed. Humans are born of fucking people, demons are born of fucking demons, boxes are born of fucking boxes, there is nothing to make a fuss about. Sauron, on the other hand, looked calm. Goodbye. Hearing this, Moonlight couldn't help giving a thumbs up. Really? Strangely, the three of Luffy actually believed it, and even Nami looked at the person in the box with a puzzled expression. What a fart, my name is Carmen, I'm human, but... Seeing several people pointing at him, Carmen was furious and was about to explode when he suddenly saw the sneering expression on Moonlight's face, recalled the terrifying sword before, couldn't help shrinking in his heart, and quickly said respectfully. My lords, I am a human being, an out-and-out, real person, but one day I accidentally fell from the mountain and landed in a box. My body was stuck and I couldn't move. After a long time, the box grew into my body, so I became like this. What? Is there such a thing? Is there such a stupid person in this world? Interesting. Hearing this, the four of Luffy were stunned, looking at Carmen blankly. Even Moonlight, he knew about it, but when he saw it with his own eyes, he still couldn't help being extremely surprised. After all, this is the person who packed himself in a box, and everything is so funny. That's it, believe it or not, you go, this is my home. Seeing the blank faces of the four of them, Carmen also said helplessly. Okay, then excuse me. Luffy sighed, he was the most sympathetic person, and he was about to leave now. You are lying. However, Nami was not so pure. Looking at Carmen, she saw through his trick at a glance. I have already measured this island. It is a very small island. There is nothing else except the hillside. And under the hillside, I found many footprints and other traces of battles. You are a pirate. You came to this island by accident, and then separated from your companions. This is what happened by accident. Nami's eyes sparkled. Every time he said a word, Carmen's face became paler, and in the end, it was as pale as paper. You know, came and looked at Nami as if the secret had been revealed. Hey, you've been doing it for a long time, you're lying, aren't you? Usopp was immediately dissatisfied. He lied openly, fooling the king. When was he being played around? It's disgusting, you dare to deceive us. Sauron pressed his hand directly on the hilt of the sword. Hey, looking at you, you shouldn't be a bad person. Why are you lying? On the contrary, Luffy looked puzzled. Humph. Uegwang snorted coldly and didn't speak, but he was full of terrifying murderous aura, surging and terrifying. I said, this matter is actually like this. As this lady said, I am indeed a pirate. One day, my companions and I discovered this place, so we came here to hunt for treasure. Seeing this, Carmen knew that if he didn't tell the truth, he would not be good today, so he told all the things before and after in detail. Especially when he finally found the treasure, he was very excited and wanted to call his companions, but because of an accident, he fell off the mountain and got stuck in the box. After that, he lived on the island for decades, accompanied by rare beasts, and the unattainable treasure. At the end, the whole person burst into tears. Sure enough, there is a treasure here. Hearing this, Nami's eyes lit up. I didn't expect that what happened to you was so bizarre and touching. Usopp wiped his tears. Cut. Sauron pouted, probably not expecting such a thing in the world. Uncle, you are so pitiful, don't worry, I decided to help you find the treasure. Luffy was moved, his sympathy overflowed, and he wanted to help Carmen. Seeing this, several other people had no objection. To be honest, they were also very curious about what the treasure that this strange person had guarded for decades was: gold, jewelry, or Bailey. Nami and the others looked forward to it, only the Moonlight looked solemnly, looking at the distant hillside in front of them. By the way, this island is very strange. It's so small. It should have been visited by countless people. The hillside is not high. So many of you searched for it but couldn't find it, and no one noticed it. You noticed it and found the treasure chest, which is inconceivable in itself. Moonlight thought secretly. He didn't say these words, but intuitively, he felt that this island was extraordinary. What Carmen said is true, then the problem lies on this island. Moonlight looked over solemnly, wanting to see something else, but he was disappointed. The island was ordinary, nothing special. Uncle, these treasures are mine now. At this time, Luffy and others had brought Carmen to the bottom of the hill. Luffy jumped up and found the treasure chest. After opening it, it was empty. Looking at the expectant Carmen, Luffy smiled coldly. What? However, Kamen, Usopp, Nami, and Sauron all tensed up, except for Usopp. Both Nami and Zoro knew what kind of person Luffy was, so they immediately reflected the meaning of these words. Although Usopp was angry at first, he quickly realized it. Carmen's body trembled, as if the belief that had been supported for decades had collapsed, but he suddenly smiled. Boy, you are really a good person. There is actually nothing in the treasure chest, right? He had already guessed the result, but he hadn't dared to think about it all these years, and he had to see it in person before he was reconciled. Chapter 27 Joseph. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Really, Luffy? Although she had already guessed it, Nami still did not give up and hoped to hear from Luffy himself. Luffy chuckled. The 6 boxes were thrown down, and it was really empty inside. There is really nothing. Usopp sighed. Then uncle, you have wasted these decades. Sauron waved his hand. The key is to make it so people are not people, ghosts are not ghosts. Nami shook her head. This. Actually, it's nothing. In the beginning, I was sad and felt worthless, but after having them, I feel that this is not bad. If I didn't lose others, I wouldn't have this. In this way, I am more relaxed. Thank you, Straw Hat Boy. I am not sad, because I found the real treasure. Carmen sighed first, then shook his head. His eyes were firm and flickering, looking at the rare and exotic beasts coming around, with a warm expression on his face. These years, it was their company that allowed him to persevere step by step. Moonlight, what are you doing? At this moment, Luffy glanced at him, but saw Moonlight suddenly raise the sword in his hand, and the sword energy exploded. Okay. Moonlight, what happened? There are enemies. Which mountain are you going to chop? Hearing this, Nami and Usopp were surprised, and Zoro immediately saw Moonlight's locked eyes. It's that hillside. Buzz, before he could be surprised, he saw a huge crescent-like sword energy slashing out. Boom, the hillside was instantly divided into two, and the falling rocks rolled, and the momentum was horrifying. A hollow mountainside then emerged. As expected, the legend is not groundless. Uiguang's heart was moved, and he came to the mountainside to look it over, and saw a very strange text on the side of the mountainside. This was an ancient text, but unfortunately he couldn't understand it. What is this? Is this the treasure? A paragraph. Luffy, Zoro, Nami, and Usopp all came together with blank faces. This. I have never found out. Carmen was also stunned. He never imagined that after splitting the mountain from the middle, there would be such a thing. Nami, do you have any rubbings? I want to print them. Moonlight ignored it, but looked at Nami. Have. Nami nodded and took it out, as a little thief cat, she has nothing. If my guess is right, these things should be real treasures. These texts are ancient texts, and I can't understand them. Luffy, when inviting crew members, be sure to invite historians. Only historians can understand these texts. Moonlight said to Luffy while rubbing the seal. Well, that's for sure. Luffy nodded, and looked around curiously, but it was a pity that this was an ancient text, and none of the people present could recognize it. Okay, the matter is over, and it's time for us to pull the anchor and set sail. Hey, uncle, go to sea with us and be our companions. Finally, after everything was over, everyone was ready to leave. Luffy looked at Common and extended an invitation. No, I've been looking forward to it, I've been waiting, and I've missed too many things. The treasures are not the only ones anymore, and they are my treasures. Carmen shook his head, his expression was extremely firm, and he refused. Okay, uncle, you have to live well. Hearing this, Luffy waved his hand, Moonlight lifted the anchor, Usopp took the helm, Nami watched the course, Zoro looked around, and everyone pulled the anchor and set sail. Everyone left Treasure Island. Honestly, Moonlight, how did you find out that there was something wrong with that mountain, on the boat? Nami asked Moonlight with a puzzled expression. Yes, this kind of thing, we would never have thought of it. Usopp nodded. Although he claimed to be the most intelligent person in the world, he never thought of splitting the mountain to have a look. Don't say it's you, I didn't even think of it. Sauron also nodded. It's nothing, it's just a pure perception. I heard that person say that this is the legendary Treasure Island, and then he said that so many of them haven't discovered it. The only thing they haven't been to is the hillside. Are they all fools or blind? There are so many people, why no one has been there? There are many coincidences in this world, but such illogical coincidences are not coincidences, but secrets. Moonlight shook his head, he also felt strange, just tried it, but he didn't expect that there was a secret. As expected of Moonlight, your thoughts are really delicate. Hearing this, Nami couldn't help admiring. That's right, I, Usopp, have very few people who admire me, and you, Moonlight, are one. Usopp also gave a thumbs up. Humph. Sauron just hummed, but the fighting spirit in his eyes became more and more victorious. This man, whether it is swordsmanship or mind, is extremely sensitive, he can only look up, but be sure to go beyond. I'm so hungry, I want some meat. Luffy, on the other hand, had already lost interest. He was sitting on the special seat at the bow, rubbing his belly, looking listless. Everyone was speechless, Luffy's virtue made them not know what to say. Moonlight, think of a way, I'm almost starving to death. Luffy turned his head and said pitifully. What about food? In this sea, the most indispensable thing should be food. Moonlight smiled, domineering perception. A sword cut out. Buzz, a crescent-like sword chi pierced the sea. Suddenly the sea was separated, and in the sea area 10 meters away, a gigantic shark came biting. It has been lurking nearby for a long time, ready to ambush the melee, but it didn't expect to be preempted by Moonlight. Amazing! Moonlight! Seeing this, Nami and the others couldn't help being amazed. However, at this time, the sword energy swept across, and the shark was split in half. Luffy, who saw half of it, stretched out his hand and grabbed it, while the other half was impacted by the powerful sword energy, and flew up far away. Chopped too hard. Moonlight was speechless, it was because he thought too much about the endurance of sharks. Whoa, shark meat, Usopp, grill it, we eat shark meat. Luffy has already started, grabbed half of the shark, and said to Usopp. Okay, wrap it on me, I'm the best at grilling. Usopp patted his chest and immediately lit a fire to grill. Seeing Luffy and Moonlight who do what they say and draw their swords as soon as they say, Nami and Zoro are already speechless, these two, but when they saw the grilled shark meat, their stomachs also growled. Ha ha ha, hearing this voice, Luffy laughed out loud, several people looked at each other and couldn't help laughing. Boom, however, at this moment, a shocking sound of sea waves suddenly sounded, accompanied by a roar. Who is this? Throw the shark over, our boat was overturned, Joseph, you can't die. Cough cough. What happened? That everyone was laughing. When they heard this sound suddenly, they looked over quickly. Finally, the eyes locked on a small boat knocked over by a shark in the distance, and two people floating in the sea. They couldn't help but look at each other. Can this also hit people?